Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. We are continuing with the topic ratio and proportion. In today's video, we will be focusing on the basics of proportion. The basics of ratio I have already covered in a previous video, whose link is given in the description below. Let me define proportion. The word proportion you're quite familiar with. It has different meanings in different contexts. But in maths, we define proportion as equality of two or more ratios. For example, given four quantities, say A, B, C, D, such that the ratio of the first two, that is A and B, equals the ratio of the other two, C and D, then we say these four quantities are in proportion. And the quantities A and D are called extremes, and B and C are called means. In proportion, sometimes we use four dots instead of this equal sign, and we write it like this: A is to B, C is to D. This is read as A is to B, as C is to D. But for practical purposes, we go by this representation, putting equal sign. Now, we know that the ratio and fraction are the same. So, A is to B equal to C is to D implies A over B equal to C over D. Cross multiplying, what do you get? AD equals BC. So, this shows what? If four quantities A, B, C, D are in proportion, the product of AD, which are called extremes, is the same as the product of the means, which are B and C. That's all there to know as a concept of proportion. Now let's work out a few simple problems based on both ratio and proportion. The first question is this: A is to B equals 2 is to 3. B is to C equals 4 is to 5. Find A square is to B square is to AC. These are the four options. In the first step, we will combine these two ratios, A is to B and B is to C, and find out A is to B is to C. Let me write the ratios again. 2 is to 3 and B is to C, 4 is to 5. Now, given two ratios with one term being common, we can combine and get A is to B is to C. There are different methods. I'll give you the shortest of all. There's no method shorter than this. What we do is multiply like this, 2 and 4, then multiply like this, 4 and 3, then again multiply like this. Okay, 2 multiplied by 4, 8. 4 multiplied by 3, 12. 3 multiplied by 5, 15. This is the shortest way to combine two ratios and find out A is to B is to C. What are we finding? A square is to B square is to AC. This is the ratio we are asked to find out. Again, the shortest method, there are two different methods. One, you can take A, B, C as multiples of 8, 12, 15. What I meant is this: you can write A as 8x, B as 12x, and C as 15x, and then substitute here. That's one approach. Or you can take A as just 8, B as 12, and C as 15, which would be slightly shorter here. We don't need to waste time writing XXX everywhere. But there's one condition. Generally, this is what we use in certain problems. In fact, taking the values as multiples works in all problems. If you're in confusion whether to use just these numbers 8, 12, 15 or their multiples, you go by this. You will get the correct answer. There are certain problems, where you don't need to take multiples and go for these numbers individually, 8, 12, 15. And that also will give you the correct answer, but not in all problems. See, one area where it works with these individual numbers is when given a ratio, you're finding another ratio, or you're finding a percentage. Percentage is also a ratio. Given a ratio, if you're finding another ratio, certainly this method of choosing these individual numbers 8, 12, 15 will work. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use here. A square 8 square, B square, 12 square, AC, A8, C15. This equals 64 is to 144. 12 square. This I am not simplifying. I'm leaving it as it is. There's a reason for that. See, these two numbers are divisible by 8. So generally when you arrive at the final answer to a ratio, you should give it in the shortest form, removing all common factors. So dividing this ratio by 8, 64 divided by 8 is 8. 144 divided by 8, 18. See, when you divide this by 8, you will get 15, which is the first option given in the problem. Okay, to make it clearer, let me work out with these multiples also. A square is to B square is to AC. A square is 8x the whole square. B square is 12x the whole square. Again, A is 8x and C is 15x. This equals, distributing the power 2 to both the terms, you get 8 square multiplied by x square is to 12 square multiplied by x square. Let me combine the constants. 8 and 15 multiplied by x into x, x square. You can see x square being common. So cancelling that, you get 8 square, 12 square, 8 multiplied by 15. And that's the same as this. Further simplification, I'm leaving it to you. See, the only inconvenience here, you are writing xxx and then you are cancelling it to get to the final answer. Whereas you can avoid this sort of unnecessary writing x and then later on cancelling. But keep in mind, this works only in certain problems. And one of the conditions I have already discussed just a little while ago. And like I said, if you are in confusion whether to use these numbers or the multiples, go by this. You will get the correct answer. Maybe it will waste a little of your time. That's all. Now let's look at the next question. A equals 3B over 5. B equals C over 4. C equals 2D over 5. Find A is to D. These are the four options given to you. There are two different methods for this. In the first method, let me rewrite the given equations. See, A equals 3B over 5. Take B to the left side. Here it is multiplication. There it becomes division. And 3 over 5 on the right side. This means A is to B equals 3 is to 5. Similarly, the next one, B equals C over 4. Taking C to this side, B divided by C, 1 divided by 4. This will be B is to C, 1 is to 4. Then we have one more, C equals 2D over 5. Taking D to the left side, you have C over D equals 2 over 5. C is to D, 2 is to 5. We are asked to find out A is to D. All you need to do is combining these three ratios, you find out A is to B is to C is to D. See, I've already shown you how to combine two ratios. What do? See, let's find out A is to B is to C using these two ratios. You multiply like this, 3 multiplied by 1, then 1 multiplied by 5, then 5 multiplied by 4, 20. So this is A is to B is to C. Now C is to D, 2 is to 5. See, we are combining this ratio with 3 terms with another ratio with the 2 terms. You can see the term C being common, but here they are different. In the first ratio, C is 20. In the second one, 2. We will equalize them. Generally, we will equalize to their LCM. For these two numbers, 20 and 2, LCM is 20. So you bring 20 in the second ratio without changing its value. What do? You multiply this ratio by 10, both the terms. So you get 20 is to 50. Now C is to D equal to 20 is to 50. A is to B is to C is equal to 3 is to 5 is to 20. You have C being common. Now you can write A is to B is to C is to D like this. 3 is to 5 is to 20 is to 50. And you're asked to find out A is to D. A is 3 and D is 50. So that will be the answer here. 3 is to 50. And that's given us the first option. There is one more method to solve this problem. In this method, we will not make use of the concept of ratio or proportion. You may please refer back to the question. These are the simple equations given in the problem. Like we did before, B I am bringing to the left side and you will be getting 3 by 5. Then the second equation, B equals C over 4. This is B divided by C, 1 over 4. C I am taking to the left side. Similarly, the last one, C equals 2D divided by 5. This is same as C divided by D equals 2 over 5. So here what I am going to do, I am not converting these fractional equations into ratios. Instead, multiply these three equations. On the left side, you get A divided by B, B divided by C, C divided by D equals 3 over. Then the right side, respective right side, this is what you get. Now look at the left side. There is some cancellation you can see. B, B, C, C. And you have what? A divided by D. So we will go here twice. So in the numerator, there is only 3, 3, 1, 1. So 3. In the denominator, 5 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5, 50. This is A is to D equals 3 is to 50. This is the answer we had in the previous method. So I've shown you two different methods. You choose the one which you like and which you think is shorter. Now there are a few ideas in ratio which you need to know before looking at the next problem. They are duplicate ratio, triplicate ratio, sub-duplicate ratio, and sub-triplicate ratio. These are very simple concepts. If you take a ratio like 2 is to 3, duplicate ratio means you just square each of the terms. That will be 2 square, 3 square, which is same as 4 is to 9. That's all. Given a ratio, to find its duplicate ratio, just square both the terms in the ratio. Similarly, to get the triplicate ratio, again for the same ratio, what do? You take the cubes of both the terms of the ratio to get the triplicate ratio. 2 cubed 8, the other one is 27. So 8 is to 27 is the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3. Similarly, 4 is to 9 is the duplicate ratio of 2 is to 3. Now the definition of sub-duplicate ratio. Let me write a ratio like this. Say 16 is to 25. Now to get the sub-duplicate ratio of this, take the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. That's equal to 4 is to 5. So 4 is to 5 is the sub-duplicate ratio of 16 is to 25. Now let me write another ratio here. Say 8 is to 27. To get the sub-triplicate ratio, take the cube root of 8, which is 2. Again the cube root of 27, which is 3. So 2 is to 3 is the sub-triplicate ratio of 8 is to 27. Let me work out a simple problem based on this idea. X plus 10 is to 4x plus 20 is the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3. Find x. These are the options given to you. We will use the basic definition of triplicate ratio. This is a ratio of algebraic expressions, and that is said to be the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3. That means x plus 10 divided by 4x plus 20 equals triplicate of 2 is to 3. Take cube of 2, which is 8. Cube of 3, 27. So 8 is to 27 is the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3. So you got a simple equation. Solve this equation. We will cross multiply 27, 4x plus 20, 8, 27x plus 10 multiplied by 27, 270, 4x multiplied by 8, 32x, 20 multiplied by 8, 160. Now take 160 to the left side. You have 270 here. 160 becomes minus on the left. Then 32x you write here. Take 27x to the right side. Plus becomes minus. 32x minus 27x, 5x. 270 minus 160, 110. So you write this, take 5 to the left side. So x will be 1110 divided by 5, which is 22. And that is the second option. Yeah, the fourth question is this. If A is to B is to C is to D equals 3 is to 4 is to 7 is to 6, and also A plus B equals 84, find C plus D. Look, here you are given a ratio. Then you are finding the value of C plus D, which are the two terms in the given ratio. In this case, you should take the multiples of 3, 4, 7, 6 as the values of A, B, C, D and then proceed. The other method will not give you the correct answer because C plus D is not a ratio. That is the point I am trying to make. In such cases, A equals 3x, B equals 4x, C equals 7x, D equals 6x. This is where you need to start off. Now they say A plus B equal to 84. See, it's very clear if you choose these A and B as 3 and 4, A plus B will not be equal to 84. Can you see that? See, A plus B is given to be 84. So substitute A as 3x here, A plus B. Let me write whatever is given. Then substituting 3x for A and 4x for B. This is what you get. You're getting a simple equation in x. 3x plus 4x, 7x. X equals, taking 7 to the right side. Here it is multiplication. On the right, it's division. And this on simplification, 12. So x found to be 12. Now, this is what is required to be found out. C plus D. C is 7x. D is 6x. When you write a ratio in terms of a multiple like x, x is what? We don't know. Generally, in problems of this kind, there will be some additional information to help us find out x. That additional information is this one. A plus B equal to 84. Now, this is 13x. And x found to be 12. Just plug in that value here. 13 multiplied by 12, 156, which is the second option. I hope you're getting an idea where to use the multiple and where not to use it to save the time. There's nothing wrong in taking the multiple in any problem. You will get the correct answer. But when you go for the individual numbers given in the ratio like this, it saves you some time. That's all. So always, when you are in confusion, take the multiple and proceed. You will get the correct answer. Only thing is that there will be a little time getting wasted. That's all. Before winding up today's video, we'll do one more problem. Here you are given two simple equations. 2x minus 3y plus z equals minus 3. X plus y minus z equals 1. Using these two, we are finding the ratio of x, y, z. These are the four options given to you. Let me call the given equation 1 and the second one 2. What I'm going to do is eliminate one of the variables. I'll be eliminating the variable y as follows. Multiply the second equation by 3 throughout the equation. 3x plus 3y minus 3z equal to 1 multiplied by 3, 3. All this equation 3. Let me write the first equation below this one. 2x minus 3y plus z equals minus 3. In the next step, we will add these two equations. 3x plus 2x, 5x. Plus 3 minus 3, these two will cancel out. Here minus 3z, here plus z. On adding, you will get 2z. And the right side plus 3 minus 3, 0. Taking 2z to the right side, you have this. Take z to the left side, keeping 2 on the right. Take 5 to the right side. Yeah, as you know, multiplication becomes division when changing sides. Here you may choose x as 2 and z as 5 because you're going to find out a ratio. Even if you choose the multiples, that will get cancelled. So I'm taking x as 2 and z as 5. These are particular values of x and z. Then substitute these values in either 1 or 2. So substituting in this equation, you have 2 plus y minus 5 equals 1. Keeping y here, 2 minus 5 minus 3 equals 1. Taking 3 to the other side, it becomes plus and you have 4. So y is equal to 4. X is equal to 2, z is equal to 5. Combining all this, x is to y is to z equals 2 is to, write y next, 4. Then comes z value, 2 is to 4 is to 5, which is the second option. I'll be continuing with ratio and proportion in the next video, wherein I'll be working out a few word problems based on ratio and proportion. By the way, if you found this video useful, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.